The Celestian throne room shimmered like liquid starlight, each marble tile glowing softly beneath the golden banners that hung from crystalline pillars. The air hummed with energy, anticipation, curiosity, fear, because today was no ordinary day. Today, a human had survived the gauntlet of thorns. No human had ever survived it. No alien from any race had survived it in nearly the centuries. And according to the rules of the ancient Celestian trial, the survivor earned a single reward, a wish granted by the queen herself. Any wish, no refusals. That was why thousands filled the luminous amphitheater, whispering in shock as the human who had achieved the impossible stood before the throne. His name was Oren Vale, grease-stained mechanic, no special lineage, no power, no status. Just a man who fixed engines on outer rim freighters. He was not meant to be here. He was not meant to live, yet here he stood, and at the far end of the room, sitting upon the shimmering throne of her ancestors, was Queen Lysethra Vex Solaristal, radiant. Her skin a deep violet with silver star patterns that glowed across her cheeks and collarbones. Her luminous eyes held galaxies within them. Her crown floated above her brow, suspended by telekinetic aura, slowly rotating like a miniature ring planet. She was majestic. She was terrifying. And she was studying Oren as though she couldn't decide whether he was impressive or insane. Behind her, her royal guard tightened their grips on plasma spears. The queen raised a hand, and the chamber fell silent. Oren Vale of Terra, she said, her voice smooth and echoing like distant thunder. By surviving the gauntlet, you have earned the right to ask of me a single wish. I am bound by celestial law to fulfill it, no matter what it may be. Her eyes narrowed. Choose wisely. All around them, nobles leaned forward, eager to see what this small, fragile human would ask. Riches, noble rank, a fleet, a planet, a cure, a weapon, immortality, power beyond imagination. Oren breathed in, then out. He already knew his wish. He had known since the moment he first saw her months ago, at a distance, back when he worked as a mechanic on a supply shuttle doing repairs near the palace ports. He had looked up and seen the queen addressing her people from the balcony. For a fraction of a second, just a blink and nothing more, her eyes had met his, and something inside him had changed. He didn't believe in destiny or soul threads or cosmic ties, but something had happened. Something he couldn't explain. Something he had tried and failed to forget. Now she sat before him, real, regal, and breathtaking. His voice finally emerged, steady but soft. Your Majesty, my wish is simple. The queen leaned forward, slightly curious. Speak. Oren swallowed. I choose you. The room erupted. Gasps, screams, disbelief, horror. The royal guard surged forward instantly, weapons raised, ready to cut him down for his audacity. Silence. Queen Lysethra commanded, rising to her feet. Her voice cracked through the hall like electric fire. The guards froze. The crowd froze. Her eyes were wide-shocked, unguarded for the first time in years, perhaps decades. You, she whispered. You wish for me? Oren nodded. Yes, her lips parted, astonishment flooding her face. In her entire reign, no one had dared such a thing. Celestian monarchs were not objects to be claimed. They were living deities, chosen by the flow of stars. Their lives were bound to duty, sacrifice, and diplomacy. No one asked for the queen. No one would ever ask for the queen. And yet this human, small, unbreakable, and strange, had spoken the forbidden. The law demanded she honor the request. But emotionally, personally, she wasn't prepared. She wasn't prepared at all. The nobles shouted accusations. He intends to control the throne. He seeks to corrupt the bloodline. He must be executed. He wants leverage over the entire empire. But the queen heard none of them. Her heart pounded like war drums. No one had ever wanted her, not as a ruler, not as a symbol, but as a person. Her advisors loved her for her power. Her guards respected her for her strength. Her people worshipped her as divine. But no one had ever chosen her simply because she was Lysethra. She took a slow breath and descended the steps of her throne. Each step echoed across the silent hall as she approached the human who had shattered the ancient expectations of her empire. When she stopped before him, she was taller than he by nearly 2 heads. Her aura brushed against his skin like warm starlight. Oren Vale, she said, her voice soft or dangerously soft. Do you understand what you have asked? He nodded. I do. Do you understand the consequences? The political storms? The chaos you will unleash? The enemies you will make? He nodded again. I do. You would abandon your old life. She pressed. If I must, you would stand by my side in war as well as peace? Yes, you would not break when the weight of my crown crushes you. No, her breath hitched. She wasn't expecting that, and why'd she ask quietly? Why would you choose me above all else? Oren's answer was simple, because when I look at you, I don't see a queen, I see someone who's lonely. The reaction across the chamber was explosive outrage, fury, shock, but Lysethra didn't react with anger instead. Her luminous eyes widened, her breath trembling as it left her lips. He had seen it, he had seen her. Not the crown, not the throne, just the woman beneath. No one ever saw her. She stepped closer, so close that her presence wrapped around him like cosmic flame. Oren, she whispered, voice cracking slightly. Your wish is unprecedented. He smiled gently. Then maybe it's the one worth granting. Her pulse quickened. She could feel his presence, grounded, warm, human, different from everything in her luminous world of politics and power. She lifted a hand and brushed it along his jawline with trembling fingers. She didn't know why she was trembling. Your wish, she breathed, is granted. The chamber exploded into hysteria, but she didn't care. She couldn't look away from him. Not now. Not ever again. Part 2. The aftermath. He retreated to her private sanctum and inner chamber, where even her royal advisors were forbidden without invitation. It was a sphere of floating gardens, drifting platforms, and soft golden air. Oren walked beside her quietly, aware of the growing storm outside. Lysethra finally stopped by a balcony of pulsing violet vines that glowed in the starlight. She turned to him, emotion swirling through her eyes, fear, confusion, wonder. You risked your life for a chance to ask for me, she whispered. Why? He leaned against the railing, thinking. Because the first time I saw you speak to your people, your expression changed for a moment. Just one moment. You looked tired, sad, like the whole galaxy expected you to be perfect. She swallowed. And you? She asked. What do you expect? Nothing, he said. Just the chance to know the real you. Her breath trembled. For so long, she whispered. I thought no one would ever see me. I believed I was destined to rule alone, admired, feared, but never known. She stepped closer. But you look at me as though I am just a woman, because you are, he said softly. That was the moment she knew she was doomed. Or saved. She wasn't sure. Part 3. The conversation that changed everything. Later, after hours of silent companionship, she sat beside him on a floating garden platform, knees touching lightly. She had never allowed anyone to sit so close. Oren, she said softly, you must understand. Granting your wish risks everything. My council will revolt. Nobles will demand your exile. Entire systems will threaten war. He nodded. I know. Why didn't you choose wealth or power? Anything else would have been easier. He met her eyes. Because without you, none of it would have mattered. Her chest tightened painfully. She whispered. You speak like someone who does not fear death. Oh, I fear it, he admitted. But I fear a life without purpose more, and I am that purpose. You could be, he said quietly. If you wanted. The queen's breath left her lungs. Her aura flickered, glowing faintly brighter. She'd been given peace treaties, thrones, armies, cosmic artifacts. But no one had ever offered her a choice, a chance to be. Wanted. Not for duty. Not for power, but simply for being herself. She reached out slowly and slid her hand into his. Her fingers dwarfed his. Cool and warm at the same time. Oren, she whispered, her voice almost breaking. Do not give yourself to me lightly. I am not a simple woman. My heart is sharp. My life is dangerous. My destiny is heavy. He squeezed her hand gently, then let me help carry it. Her heart nearly stopped. She had never experienced anything like this. No fear in his voice. No hesitation in his eyes. Only sincerity. She leaned toward him, lips hovering near his cheek, her forehead touching his lightly. Your wish, she murmured, was for me. Yes, but now, Oren Vale, I must ask you my own question. She lifted his chin so he had to look at her. Do you truly choose Lysethra, the woman, or Lysethra the queen? He spoke instantly. The woman, her vision blurred. For centuries, no one had chosen the woman. She exhaled shakily, her forehead pressing against his. Then you may stay by my side. Not as a subject, not as a servant, not as a political symbol, but as the one who saw me. He smiled softly. I'd like that, and Oren, she whispered, her voice trembling with something rare and fragile hope. Know that your wish will change my life. More than you can ever imagine. Part 4. The Priceless reaction. The following day, the empire erupted in chaos, nobles threatening revolt, alliances trembling. Ambassadors panicking. And yet Queen Lysethra walked into the grand hall holding Oren's hand. The entire court gasped. Only she spoke. Oren Vale's wish was for me, she declared boldly. And I have granted it. Shock rippled across the room, but her end.